Coming up on this episode of Outlook TV, Rotimi Fani-Kayode's Tranquility of Communion.
Toronto artist Iain Downie.
The Vancouver Coronation, and much, much more. Hello, 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 and welcome to Outlook TV. I'm Emily Ann Fraser.
And my name is Darren Manette. We'd like to acknowledge and thank the Squamish, Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and surrounding nations for the honor and privilege of filming on their traditional unceded territories.
Outlook TV is the queer magazine news show that brings you the stories that matter the most from coast to coast. And kicking us off, Angus takes us to the Tranquility of Communion show.
Right, checking out a queer Nigerian photographer's work.
We're at the Polygon Gallery in North Vancouver for the launch of the Rotimi, Fani-Kayode, Tranquility and Communion exhibition. We're going behind the scenes to see what it's all about.
With someone who had limited means, as he did at this time, this was a way to make work. Rotimi Fani-Kayode, he did not live as long as we wish he did. He passed away in 1989, but he left behind an incredible body of work. He had a flourishing but brief career from 1983 through 1989, and really was thinking about his background, his cultural background as the son of a Yoruba politician, kind of from the Nigerian elite, but coming at this from his own vantage as a queer person. Rotimi being a queer person, being openly gay, despite coming from a very traditional and rigidly conservative family, as well as, the very Christian background of Nigeria, he was really thinking about sexuality and his own sexuality from multiple vantage points. I mean, for one thing, going to DC and then going to New York to the Pratt Institute for his master's, he's, seeing different queer subcultures, and then in Brixton, again, when he comes back to London in '83, there's a different one, and he falls in love with a Englishman who's white, so he's in an interracial relationship as well at that time. Thinking about this from many perspectives, but specifically also looking at Black masculinity and the fact that there's this kind of exoticism that happens a lot in these myths around Black virility. A lot of this work has to be read in relationship to the AIDS epidemic. Some of the works very specifically reference mortality in their titles, and you get a sense of Rotimi being aware of time being so finite. Rotimi was photographing people with AIDS and showing them as almost as religious icons. They are in their power, they're in their glory, they're in their beauty. And we don't see that so much with photography, with images of people with AIDS from that time. So that's a really key contribution that I think his images make. We see so much of what he was able to do, partly because of Alex, his partner, his longtime partner, even though they're not necessarily credited to him. A lot of the works of this exhibition were undoubtedly made in collaboration with Alex, and so that's something too, to find your people, I guess.
For Outlook TV, this is Angus Pratt at the Polygon Gallery in North Vancouver.
Coming up next, T gives us a glimpse into some visiting royalty performers.
Right, court performing.
It's Coronation weekend in Vancouver, BC, and we are at the Out of Town show, where we welcome guests, dignitaries from all across Canada and the US as they converge in Vancouver to celebrate Reign 52. Let's find out who's here from out of town.
One of my duties is traveling to different coronations. We have a lot of them in different, throughout California, but I wanted to go outside of the state and outside of actually the United States. So Canada and Vancouver has always been something that I wanted to go to, and this is a perfect opportunity for me to just come and see how Vancouver is and the people and how the court is, how different the courts are from us. Couple more months of getting everything, so we have our calendars blocked out. Every weekend, I'm either going to a coronation or going to or have an event or doing something else for another court. So it's pretty fun. We're also trying to get the youth involved in our court system. So I'm going to bring back the youth title or a youth title, which I started in my first reign. The Doll in '98 is our longest title holder competition. So I'm trying to turn that into a youth event.
Because Vancouver is Toronto's mother court, and it's one of our mandates is that all current emperors have to go to Vancouver for their mother court. It's looking forward to coming to Vancouver because I kept on hearing great things about their ball. So when I stepped up, it was one of the things that I got to do.
The year of Vancouver's fundraising and welcome in the new leaders. Out of town coronation in 4 weeks, so yeah, it's been really busy, but it's been really fun and really rewarding.
I will be performing. My past empress is actually the host, so I was like, of course I'm going to come and perform to celebrate the next coronation of Vancouver. Smaller court, but the fact we were able to raise so much money for charity and be like there for the community and travel to out-of-town shows was really nice. So even though we were tiny, we were mighty. So I'm happy to still represent even after my reign is over.
Coming to the end of our reign on April, right at the end of April, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Your Majesties, and from Vancouver, BC, my name is T for Outlook TV.
All right, it's time to take a little break.
Get out of town, Darren.
I'd love to.
What you got?
Just nowhere south of the border.
Oh. Welcome back. You're watching Outlook TV. And this next story features a private club that's not so private.
Right. Andre's in Toronto with the Anvil. It's the newest men's club there.
Hello everyone, salut tout le monde. Toronto Church Wesley Village has a bold new addition, Anvil, a private club for men seeking connections in a discreet and welcoming space. I met Patrick to learn more about what makes Anvil unique.
What we're lacking in the community, we feel like, is a space for men to come and connect in person. The vision that we had for Anvil was to really create a space where men could come and connect in real life. Anvil is more of a cruising spot, so it's for men who really like to cruise other men in the safety of being inside, it's a private space, and also being clothed or semi-clothed. There's a bathhouse where it's more of a time commitment. You're going in, you're getting in a towel, you're in the jacuzzi, you're wet, you're dry, you're enjoying that sort of environment. Maybe they don't want to do a bathhouse. Maybe they have, about their body, they have issues about their body. They don't want to be in a towel necessarily. Right next door, there's a hardware store called Dudley's. When the city of Toronto had the alley next to Dudley's, they said, oh, let's call the alley Anvil. What is a better name for a sex club than Anvil? So the spaces that I'm most excited about at Anvil are the slurp ramp. We've got this giant slurp ramp. And if you don't know what that is, basically it's just a raised platform where you can walk up and then there's glory holes and there's people standing below. So basically the people standing below are at eye level from the people standing above. In the spring, summer, we're opening the outdoor space in the back. So this is a space where you can go, you can cruise, you can have sex. It's completely private. You can go have a cigarette. You don't have to leave the premises. You can go get some fresh air and just enjoy the outdoor space. And then also in the spring, summer, we're opening our chill out lounge in the back. So you can just go and relax. But you know, Church and Wellesley is really, historically, this is the center of the community. As a team, we felt it was really important to have the Anvil location right in the heart of the Church and Wellesley village. So if I was going to give advice to somebody who was coming to Anvil for the first time, I would say the entrance is in the back. That's part of the anonymous nature of the space. Just come and see for yourself what it's like at Anvil. Let your eyes adjust to the dark, wander around and enjoy the space. Get to know the space, get to know yourself, and allow yourself the opportunity to really explore something new. Coming up for Anvil, we're going to have a few different events that are planned. The doors are going to be open on special night and enjoy Anvil as well. Then we're also going to have like naked night. We're going to have sportswear night. We're going to do special evenings where it's just like jack-off parties. So lots coming down the pipeline.
Thank you for being with us. This is André Tardif in Toronto for Outlook TV.
Coming up next, Angus has the latest scoop on the latest coronation in Vancouver.
Glam.
We're at Performance Works in Granville Island in Vancouver for Coronation 53. Let's go join everybody and see what's happening for 2025.
Tonight is the last walk for me. My reign has ended, and a new elect will be announced at the end of my reign. I've met so many people, I've been so many places. I think the one that holds dear to my heart is my community in Vancouver.
Well, I've been a professional female impersonator in Vancouver for nigh on 30 years now, a long time. And I've always loved performing all over town, all over North America. I've had several shows. And 25 years ago, I was Empress of Vancouver, and it was an amazing experience. So tonight, I'm celebrating my anniversary. Well, being Empress has opened many, many doors. A lot of people sort of follow your career more. It made a lot more connections and friendships all over the globe, really. And when you go out of town, you get to visit with people you haven't seen in a while. So it's lovely. Raised a lot of money for charity, did a lot of really good work. It's been overall a wonderful experience, and it keeps being a wonderful experience as you grow older. Not that I'm growing older, of course.
If you're interested, by all means, find a court that is in your area. You know, do your research. If you want to get involved, start with a title, become a board member. It's always very helpful if you get involved in the background, the business part. And then, you know, you can go from there. And, you know, from there, like, the sky's the limit.
Got a question for you, better answer now. Yeah. Am I enough?
I like to tell everyone who's just starting out, really hone your craft, prepare your look, become as good as you can be, and sometimes donate your services to local charities and local organizations that do this kind of work because it's wonderful. It helps you open doors, it helps you establish yourself as a fabulous performer in town.
We chose 3 charities. We have the Ribbon Community, Out on Screen, and Western Seniors Network. 3 amazing agencies that give back to the community and work for the community. So we chose those this year for our charities.
I'm just a girl in the world. That's all that you let me bear.
Congratulations to Emperor 53, Zachary David Fox, and Empress 53, Alter.
Makes me worry.
Outlook TV. This is Angus Pratt at Coronation 53 in Vancouver.
Well, it's about that time where we take a little break.
Well, this show is just zipping along.
Zippity-doo-dah-day.
So you're up close and more personal models, and they're all looking for content. Peter, he asked me to come out to the league, and I just started doing practicing.
Welcome back. You're watching Outlook TV. This next story features the first queer man to run for office in the States, and he ran in heels. We're talking about Jose Sarria. Check it out.
How would you like it if I called you a Nellie queen? I know I wouldn't like it. But there's one queer activist who not only embraced that term, but reclaimed it with power. So much so that there's a documentary named after them. This is a story about Jose Sarria in a documentary called Nellie Queen.
Everybody has the right to run for office. And they said, you can't run for office, you're gay. They ain't gonna let you. And I said, watch me.
Nellie Queen, The Life and Times of Jose Sarria, is the life story of Jose Sarria, the first out candidate for public office that ran in 1961, and the founder of the International Imperial Court System. Well, Jose was groundbreaking, and many have referred to him as the mother of the LGBTQ plus community, because he was the first person who encouraged LGBT citizens to stand together, united, to confront the prejudices of the day and police entrapment. And this all began in the late 1940s and in the 1950s in what was once a pretty conservative San Francisco.
Every Sunday I would get up and I would talk and I would preach and I would say, Mary, united we stand, or divided they'll catch us one by one.
Before Jose passed in 2013, he was very concerned that people wouldn't remember all that he had done and all we had done together as a community. And so many of us assured him that was not going to be the case. We were going to make certain he was remembered. And thus we started the Jose Sarria Foundation, focused exclusively on that, promoting his memory. And the first thing we undertook was fundraising to make the film Nellie Queen come about.
We were going to be strong, virile, healthy men who were capable of resisting the Soviet advance.
I take the film to universities and share Jose's inspiring story about him standing up and fighting in the 40s and 50s. I took it to Simon Fraser University and have taken it through Gonzaga University in Spokane and have talked to educators in British Columbia about potentially bringing his life story into their curriculum for LGBT students.
Everybody has the right to run for office.
I shall declare a new kingdom.
I'll make myself an empress.
Go to our website, josesarria.org. And the film is not available streaming or whatever, but we are making it issues of it available for a donation to the foundation to help continue the life's work of promoting Jose's legacy.
Okay. We enjoyed much freedom here.
I believed in myself. I had no problems believing in myself.
Thank you so much, Jose Sarria Foundation, for this amazing film. My name is T for Outlook TV.
Okay, so back to Toronto with Andre, who talks to Iain Downie. He's a specialist in male photography.
Oh.
Hello everyone, salut tout le monde. Toronto photographer Iain Downie is redefining male portraiture with bold and artistic imagery. Join me as we explore his creative vision and journey in photography.
Coming to Toronto really helped push my artwork and open my eyes to a bunch of different genres of art and new connections to make art. Transitioning from sculpture to photography was actually kind of easy for me. I had spent 10 years working in sculpture. I wasn't really feeling a good connection to it. I just needed to find a new medium, and I naturally fell back onto my previous love, which was photography. So I've been very lucky in the past few years that I got to show at Nuit Blanche twice at 401 Richmond. I showed both sculptural work in 2022 and photographic work in 2024. The biggest difference was that I had changed to a whole new medium of work. I really want people to feel a reaction to the work more so than them thinking it's a pretty photograph or, you know, a beautiful model. I want someone to look at the photograph and think, you know, I want that person. I want that person to spend time with me. I want to know what that person's feeling like or feeling. And to get that connection, I think that's why I use the black and white. It strips out a lot of the noise and you can just understand the person better. I like working in smaller spaces, so you're up close and more personal. I got involved with the Muddy York Rugby League in the summer of 2023. Peter, he asked me to come out to the league and I just started doing practices. I'm officially the league photographer, so I'm very proud of that because they're a great bunch of people. They just bring everyone into the fold and treat you like you're the player next to them. When I start working with a model, I want to feel a connection. I want to feel I can get to know them intellectually, mentally, know where they're coming from. The more I know about them, the more they become appealing to me. With Muddy York, I made some contacts. I met a lot of great people. I photographed a few of them individually, specifically Miles. He's an artist. He really challenged me to try something different outside of my typical studio work. Yeah, part of the reason I chose Miles is he's got a great physique. He goes to the gym. He appreciates the male body, and yet he's still very comfortable and personable. So it was just fun to work with him because it wasn't about his body. His body just happened to look good while we were having fun. I first started shooting OnlyFans models because a friend of mine from Low Count Studios had a lot of models and they were all looking for content. It was a natural progression to just start doing video work for these people. So I got to use them as art models and I got to create sex content for them to have for their own fans pages. So about a year ago, after doing all the work I was doing, I needed to try and monetize my work with the OnlyFans. It's been moderately successful. I'm getting to show both the erotic OnlyFans models as well as my own black and white photography. So I'm pretty proud of doing that. Otherwise, I'm not making much money on art outside of that.
Thank you for being with us. This is Andre Tardif in Toronto for Outlook TV.
Well, would you look at the time, Darren? That's all the time we have left for this episode of Outlook TV. But as always, we will be back.
Yes, and check us out at all the social media or come and volunteer with us.
Thank you so much for joining. I'm Emily Ann Fraser.
I'm Darren Manette. Stay fabulous, Canada.